Chapter 7 Evolution. What exactly is evolution? To understand the changes in flora and fauna that have occurred over millions of years on Earth, we must have an understanding of the context of origin of life. That is the evolution of Earth, of stars, indeed of the universe itself. So evolution is an orderly change from one form to another. Evolutionary biology is the study of history of life forms on Earth. Origin of life. The Big Bang theory attempts to explain to us the origin of universe. It also talks of a singular huge explosion unimaginable in physical terms. The universe expanded and hence the temperature came down. Hydrogen and helium formed sometimes later. The gases condense under gravitation and form the galaxies of the present day universe. In the solar system of the Milky Way galaxy, Earth was supposed to have been formed about 4.5 billion years back. There was no atmosphere on early Earth. Water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide and ammonia released from molten mass that covered the surface. The UV rays from the sun broke up water into hydrogen and oxygen, and lighter hydrogen escaped. Oxygen combined with ammonia and methane to form water, carbon dioxide and other. The ozone layer was formed. As it cooled, the water vapor fell as rain to fill all the depressions and form oceans. Life appeared 500 million years after the formation of Earth, that is almost 4 billion years back. There are different theories of origin of life. First, it is theory of spontaneous generation or theory of abiogenesis. It states that life came out of decaying and rotting matter like straw, mud, etc. Louis Pasteur discovered this abiogenesis theory. He demonstrated that life comes only from pre-existing life. As you can observe in the figure, he showed that in pre-sterilized flask, life did not come from killed yeast, while in another flask, which is open to air, new living organisms arose from killed yeast. Spontaneous generation theory was dismissed once and for all. However, this does not answer how the first life from came on Earth. Second, it is theory of biogenesis. It is proposed by Francisco Redi, Spallanzani and Louis Pasteur. It states that life originates from pre-existing life, but it does not explain the origin of first life. Third theory, it is cosmic theory or theory of panspermia. Some scientists believe that it came from outside. Early Greek thinkers thought units of life called spores were transferred to different planets including Earth. Panspermia is still a favorite idea for some astronomers. Then theory of spatial creation, it states that living and non-living was created by some supernatural power, God. Then theory of chemical evolution, it is proposed by Oparin and Haldane. It states that the first form of life was originated from non-living inorganic and organic molecules such as ammonia, methane, water, sugar, protein, nucleic acid, etc. This is the Urey-Miller experiment. As you can observe in the figure, Harold Urey and Stanley Miller experimentally proved theory of chemical evolution. They created a condition like that of primitive Earth. That means they created a high temperature, volcanic storms, reducing atmosphere with ammonia, methane, hydrogen and water. As you can observe in the figure, they made electric discharge in a closed flask containing this methane, ammonia, hydrogen and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. As a result, some amino acids are formed. In similar experiment, others observed formation of sugars, nitrogen base, pigments and fats. The first non-cellular forms of life originated 3 billion years ago. They were self-replicating metabolic capsules containing macromolecules like RNA, proteins, polysaccharides, etc. Evidences for evolution. First, it is paleontological evidences. So what is paleontology? Paleontology is the study of fossils. Fossils are remains of hard part of life forms found in rocks. Rocks form sediments, and a cross section of earth crust indicates the arrangement of sediments one over the other during the long history of earth. Different age rock sediments contain fossils of different life forms who probably died during the formation of the particular sediment. Some of them appear similar to modern organisms. They represent extinct organisms. So fossils are written documents of evolution. What are the significance of fossils? So to study phylogeny, that is the evolutionary history or race history. For example, if we have to study horse evolution, then we can use these fossils. To study the connecting link between two groups of animals. For example, Archaeopteryx, it is the connecting link between reptiles and birds. To study about extinct animals, for example, extinction of dinosaurs. Then to study about geological period by analyzing fossils in sedimentary rock layers. This study showed that life forms varied over time and certain life forms are restricted to certain geological time spans. Second is morphological and anatomical evidences. So comparative anatomy and morphology show that different form of animals have some common structural features. So first, homologous organs and homology. So what is homologous organs or what is homology? The organ which having fundamental similarity in structure and origin but different function. That means they are having similar origin but different function, and this phenomenon is called homology. For example, as you can observe, human hand and whale's flippers, bat's wing and cheetah's foot. These four limbs have different functions, but they have similar anatomical structures such as bone, humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals and phalanges. As you can observe in the figure, homology is also seen in heart and brain. This is the example of homology in plant, thorns and tendrils of bougainvillea and cucurbita. Thorns of bougainvillea, it is there for defense mechanism, and tendrils of cucurbita, it is there for provide support to climbing. So they perform a different function but they have similar origin. Origin of homologous organ is due to divergent evolution. So what is divergent evolution? Divergent evolution is the evolution by which related species they become less similar to survive and adapt in different environmental conditions. That is divergent evolution. That means homology indicates common ancestor. Second is analogous organ. The organs having similar function but different structure and origin. Exact opposite of that homologous organ. This phenomenon is called analogy. For example, wings of insect and wings of bird. Wings of insect, they are formed of thin flap of chitin, while wings of birds, they are modified forelimbs, but they perform the same function. So they are the analogous organ. Similarly, eyes of octopus, they have retina from skin, and eyes of mammals, they have retina from embryonic brain, but they perform similar function. Another example is flippers of penguins and dolphins. Similarly, trachea of insects, they are originated from ectoderm, and lungs of vertebrates, they are from endoderm, but they perform the same function. Similarly, in plants, sweet potato, they are modified root, and potato, they are modified stem, but they perform the same function of storing food. Origin of analogous organ is due to convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is exact opposite of that divergent evolution. So what is convergent evolution? Convergent evolution is the evolution by which unrelated species become more similar to survive and adapt in similar environmental conditions. Then biochemical evidences. Organisms show similarities in proteins, genes and other biomolecules and metabolism. Central dogma. So it indicates common ancestry. Embryological evidences or adaptive radiation. So, what is adaptive radiation? During his journey, Darwin went to Galapagos Island. There he observed an amazing diversity of creatures of particular interest. Small black birds, and later it is known as Darwin's finches, amazed him. He realized that there were many varieties of finches in the same island. All the varieties he showed evolved on the island itself. From the original seed-eating features, many other forms with altered beaks arose, enabling them to become insectivorous and vegetarian finches. This process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a one point and literally radiating to the other areas of geography, that means habitats. It is known as adaptive radiation. So, adaptive radiation is what? Adaptive radiation is the evolution of different species in a geographical area that's starting from a point. And example is Darwin's finches in Galapagos Island. In the figure, you can observe adaptive radiation in Galapagos finches. Different types of beak of these finches. Another example is Australian marsupials. A number of marsupials, each different from the other, evolved from an ancestral stock, but all within the Australian island continent. So that is marsupial radiation. Placental mammals in Australia. Placental mammals in Australia, they also exhibit adaptive radiation in evolving into varieties of such placental mammals, each of which appears to be similar to a corresponding marsupial. For example, you can observe placental wolf and Tasmanian wolf, that is marsupial wolf. When more than one adaptive radiation in an isolated geographical area occurs, then it results in convergent evolution. As I said, that placental mammals in Australia, they show adaptive radiation in evolving into varieties of such placental mammals, and each of which appears to be similar to a corresponding marsupials. That is placental wolf and Tasmanian wolf, that is marsupial wolf. Embryological evidences. Embryological evidences was also proposed by Ernst Haeckel based upon the observation of certain features during embryonic stage, which is common to all vertebrate, that are absent in adult. For example, as you can observe in the figure, the embryos of all vertebrate including human develop a row of vestigial gill slit just behind the head, but it is functional organ only in fish and not found in any other adult vertebrates. However, this proposal was disapproved on careful study performed by Carl Ernst von Baer. He noted that embryos never pass through the adult stages of other animals. Then evidences for evolution by natural selection. Natural selection is the process by which the organisms that are suited for their environment survive and reproduce. Some examples for natural selection by anthropogenic action. Anthropogenic action means evolution due to human activities. Are industrial melanism and development of resistant varieties. So what is industrial melanism? In England, before industrialization, there were more white-winged moth on tree than dark-winged or melanized moth. But after industrialization, more dark-winged moth and less white-winged moth are there on the tree. So what happened before industrialization? There was thick growth of white colored lichen covered the trees. In that background, the white-winged moth survived because they camouflage themselves with the lichen. But the dark-colored moth cannot camouflage themselves and they will pick out by the predator. So why this happens? Do you know that lichens can be used as industrial pollution indicator because they will not grow in areas that are polluted. So before industrialization, because there is less pollution, lichens grows on the trees and this white-winged moth, they camouflage with that lichen. But after industrialization, because of pollution, the lichen are not growing on the trees. So tree trunks become dark due to industrial smoke and soot. No lichens are there. Under this condition, white-winged moth did not survive because the predator identified them easily because they cannot camouflage themselves. Dark-winged moth survived because of suitable dark background, so predator could not identify them. Theories of biological evolution. First, it is theory of Lamarck or Lamarckism or theory of inheritance or acquired characters. This theory is proposed by Lamarck. He states that evolution of life forms occurred by the inheritance of acquired characters. Acquired characters are developed by either use or disuse of the organ. So evolution by use of organs, we are having example long neck of giraffe is due to continuous elongation to forage leaves on trees. This acquired character was inherited to succeeding generation, and that is why, as you can observe in the figure, first the original short necked ancestor was there, but now their neck they keep stretching until neck becomes progressively longer. So now we have long neck giraffe. Then evolution by disuse of organs, as you can observe in the figure, disappearance of limbs in snakes. But this theory was eliminated out because it is proved that the characters are inherited through genes, only through genes. But we know that it is not true. Characters are also inherited by the environment. Second, it is Darwinism or theory of natural selection. This theory was proposed by Charles Darwin, was based on observation during a sea voyage in a sail ship called HMS Beagle, as you can observe. Alfred Wallace had also come to similar conclusions. Work of Thomas Malthus on populations influenced by the Darwin. Darwinism is based on two key components. First, branching descent, and second, natural selection. As you can observe in the figure, all organisms are modified descendants of previous life forms. That means all the organisms, they are having common ancestors. So that is branching descent. Second is natural selection. It consider a bacterial colony A growing on a given medium. As you can observe in the figure, colony A that growing on a given medium. If the medium composition is changed, then only a part of population can survive under new condition. So if we add antibiotic in that medium, then only a part of the population can survive under new condition. And the population that are surviving, they are variant population, that is population B. So they outgrows the others and appears as the new species, that is colony B. So now this colony B is better than colony A under new condition because it can survive under the new condition. Thus, nature selects for fitness. Natural selection is based on the following fact. First, heritable minor variation. It is either beneficial or harmful to the organisms. As we have seen in this experiment, colony B, they have beneficial acquired characters because they can survive under the new condition, but colony A, they have harmful acquired character because they cannot survive under this condition. Second is overproduction. Population size grows exponentially due to maximum reproduction, as we can find in bacterial population. So because of that, resources are limited, but population overproduction is there. So resources are not increased in accordance with the population size. That means limited natural resources. Because of that, there is struggle for existence. It is the competition among organisms for resources, so that population size is limited. Then what is survival of fittest? So in this struggle for existence, organisms with beneficial variations, that means colony B, can utilize resources better. Hence they survive and reproduce. And this is called the survival of fittest. It leads to a change in population characteristics and new forms appear. Colony B, it is the new form as compared to the colony A. Darwin ignored about the origin of variation and mechanisms of evolution or speciation. Then mechanism of evolution. Hugo de Vries proposed mutation mechanism of evolution. Hugo de Vries proposed mutation theory of evolution. He conducted some experiment on evening primrose, as you can observe in the figure of evening primrose, and believed that the evolution take place through mutation and not by minor variation. He believed that evolution take place through mutation. Darwinian variation is minor, slow and directional. Either it is beneficial or harmful. It results in gradual evolution. But mutational variation is sudden, random and directionless. Here speciation is by saltation. Saltation means single step large mutation is there. Mutation is the origin of variation for evolution.